We know that the third eye is a metaphor for intuition. It's not really a metaphor, but a metaphor. Science says that the pineal gland is a small endocrine organ, primarily regulates melatonin, governs circadian rhythm, and largely is vestigial in modern lab rooms. It's mostly ignored. And that is boring as hell in description because it is way more than that. But, here's what science meant to say. The pineal gland contains magnetite crystals, and that is the same mineral that allows birds to navigate using Earth's magnetic field. It sits in a gland in the geometric center of your brain, and it also contains photoreceptor cells structurally identical to the ones that are in your retina, the eye tissue that we just talked about in the last signal. Except these are inside of your skull, sitting in total darkness with no light source anywhere near them. The pineal is already wild by design because it's a light-sensitive organ with no access to light, producing photoreceptor cells in the dark, and it also produces DMT, the most potent psychedelic compound known to biology. And this is also something that I have a lot of experience with. But it's produced endogenously in you right now. It is released in elevated quantities during deep meditation, REM sleep, extreme states, and clinical death events. Descartes called it the seat of the soul and was laughed at for 4 centuries. But who's laughing now? Not Descartes, because it was 4 centuries ago, but science really does need new methods to get deep into understanding consciousness. And this is why I keep poking at you like we should be friends. Look, there are countless stories of you nerds discrediting others only to later have to come back and admit that you were wrong. He was pointing out a magnetite-filled photoreceptive DMT producing structure in the center of the brain that responds to electromagnetic fields, and he called it the seat of the soul, and he was called unscientific for that. So let's get specific. Ego is something that the science community should really be studying. They would benefit greatly by addressing their own. The answers to the depths of consciousness are found exactly when you remove the parts of yourself that thinks it knows and actually allows the part of you that does to come forth. It's a beautiful process of realizing that you aren't what you thought you were, and yet that you are so much more than you thought you were. The amount of doors that would open for science if they would understand the field mechanics and stop trying to remove consciousness from the equation would be incredible. We will break into the science arena. No doubt, no degrees, no explanation on how we got here, just here it is, partnership. Now for my little man, there's a tiny thing in the middle of your brain that makes the same chemical that gives people visions. It has crystals in it, just like a compass, and that's how birds know which way to go when they're flying around Earth. And it has eye cells inside of it, even though it never sees any light. And nobody fully knows why. Or maybe they do. Your brain has a secret room the science keeps walking past. And you know what? We stopped and we stepped inside.